All right. Good evening, everybody. Ken McBee coming to you. Even though the sun has gone down, it's still a balmy 106 degrees here in Phoenix, Arizona. Everyone is missing out. It's wonderful. Just kidding. Um, Today or tonight, we're trying something new. We have our director of driver support slash ECT with us, Ramon Johnson. We
Good
also
evening.
have, good evening. Thanks for joining us, Ramon. We also have Tracy Dover, our newly appointed VP of driver retention.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining us, guys. So, we're trying something new tonight. We wanted to spend some time with you, see if this works a little bit better. We do a lot of these live events during the day. We're finding that, hey, you guys are working during the day, right? We'd like for you to join us more in this driver discussion or driver open forum, we're calling it. So, therefore, we're trying it here at night. We'll continue to do things like this. I hope we have most of the answers to the questions. We have probably about 30 to 40 plus years of experience at Swift, and more than likely a little over 50 years of experience in the transportation industry with us tonight. So we'll do our best to answer the comments. Be sure and leave comments or questions as you'd like them answered. We do have a whole list that we're going to touch on. Our plan is probably to go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, answer as many questions as we can. If we don't have the answers, we'll respond to you. So don't think we're ignoring you at all. We'll respond to you at the end or throughout the day tomorrow. So, with that being said, thanks for joining us, and let's just jump right into some of this discussion. One of the comments that or questions that was out there is, what is the plan for ECT support and getting rid of long home times? This is your specialty, Ramon.
Yes, this is my baby, and thank you guys for asking this question because we have a lot of things going on right now. We've invested in staff. We've added more part-time associates. We're even scheduling during peak times right now. Our goal is to ensure that we have a 15-second answer time and that all of our calls are being answered. We're actually leveraging the two hubs now. We're leveraging Memphis and Phoenix. They're working as one group now. Don't know if you guys can see behind me, but I actually have the phone board up right now, which is up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for me. It will allow me to see how many calls are holding and what queues are coming in. As you can see right now, we have 0 calls holding right now. So trust me,
We kind of get, Ramon. We
sir.
see zero.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to show with the zeros. I don't want to show anything else. But but trust me, guys, we're working diligently trying to have some synergies. We're looking at other lines of businesses because right now our focus is kind of OTR and refrigerated OTR. We're looking at intermodal as well as flatbed, integrating them and just leveraging the power of both hubs. So we understand its concern. We're diligently working on it. But here's the key. We've made some changes to the phone systems. We want the drivers to use their driver leader's direct number. I know there's a million Swift numbers, flying out there.
But how many 800 members did we have, Ramon, out
It
there when
was
we
it
started this?
was eight. We audited 867 800 numbers, and we found a lot of discrepancies. We tried to, basically, we tried to make it easier for the drivers. When you come on board, you get your driver leader's number. It's one number. That's it. There's no remembering this number for this and that number for that. So day or night, you'll get someone. Um,
And
you know,
then
I,
hold on a second. Wait a minute. If they're not, or we've seen some posts or things like that that says, I've been on hold for 15 minutes. What's that mean?
That means either there's a routing issue or they're not calling their driver leader's direct number. So here's my thing. If you ever have hold times over 5 minutes, then let someone know. Let your driver leader know, let myself know. Trust me, I am active even on the weekends. As soon as I hear, oh, I can't get through, or because I'm on Facebook as well. So I'm looking at the comments and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, they're just dialing the wrong number. So
Well, let me stop you there. So Tracy,
oh,
being ex-terminal leader. You came from Denver, right?
Yep.
If they can't get a hold of ECT or they can't get a hold of anybody, whether it's day, night, weekends, or whatever, what's the backup?
Call your driver leader's cell phone number, or your fleet leader's cell phone number, or your terminal leader's cell phone number. Everybody's available to help for this particular reason. So, Ramon, one of the other things that I hear about that you're trying to address here is that a driver will call a number and it's supposed to roll to the next one, and it rolls to another number that doesn't get answered. Why is that?
Well, again, it's how the phone system was created. The driver leader's direct number should just roll directly to our queue. If it's rolling to another number, then generally that's a number that we no longer use, or it's a number that technically that the driver shouldn't use or shouldn't have. Because for us, it's the one number, it's the driver leader's number. And going back to your point, Trace and Ken, if you can't get through, don't sit on hold for 20, 30 minutes. Call your driver leader cell number, your fleet leader cell number, and your terminal leader cell number and say, hey, I can't get through. And trust me, they all have my email. Trust me, they'll let me know. And telecom works hand in hand with us as far as fixing the phone issues. I have a great relationship with telecom, even nights, weekends, days, 1, 2 in the morning. Sandy and her team, they've done an excellent job supporting us. So as soon as we know there's an issue, trust me, we're going to get the issue resolved.
All right. Well, appreciate that comment, Ramon. And then let's move on to Kimberly Hall. She says, or asks a question, build a kitchen or a way we can fix food for people, driver staff that get laid over for 34 hours at terminals. Tracy, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. So, Kim, we have been doing a lot of renovations in a lot of terminals across the country, Swift, and the leadership has committed to renovating everything, making it more comfortable for you in the lounge, making it more comfortable for you on the grounds at each terminal. And they've spent $100 million on this project trying to get that going. By adding kitchens to that, that's going to change that dynamic and that whole scope of work. Probably, I'm sure it was reviewed when they went through the plans for this, but we do have microwaves, multiple microwaves in every terminal. We have different ways of doing things. We have a lot of terminals have a grill outdoors, so you can barbecue if you want to while you're there, if you got time to do so. All of those things are for your use, so feel free to go at it. Use whatever we have out there, and sometimes there's even a hot plate. I know a lot of terminals use those, Denver included.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ramon.
I would say I love the market, and we have the market in the drivers' lounges as well. We have healthy options for our drivers, so if they need food, we have the market. I know I'm talking about healthy options, but if you ever come to Memphis, that strawberry shortcake is awesome. So, but we do have other resources, and plus, for Memphis, we have the Million Mile Cafe, we have the Jake Break in Phoenix. So we're just trying to explore more options to ensure that our drivers are able to shut down and enjoy a healthy meal here at the terminals.
Well, and we've got another cafe in West Valley City, so things are progressing there. I would tell you we're adding all kinds of fun things. Like I know one place they talked about a track. There's 5 or 6 locations that are getting gyms. Memphis is one that I believe got a gym. Ramon, we're talking about sport courts, pickleball courts. We're really trying to create that good community or a place that you feel more comfortable at our terminals rather than at a truck stop or somewhere like that. So keep the feedback coming. We'll keep adding stuff. But our goal is to have all remodels done by the end of 2022. So we'll have probably about 20 of them done or we'll say 20 of them done through the first quarter of next year. So,
wow.
All right. I'm going to jump right on to Zonar navigation. Hey, we know that, this new technology, there has been some hiccups, right? Nothing's ever perfect as we roll it out. Something that we realize is we probably need to communicate better on the tablet, error or errors that we're seeing weekly. So what we're committing to is this week is probably going to be Friday or tomorrow morning, but otherwise we're going to post updates on the portal. What we're doing is updates, known issues, and then up and coming things, along with a good communication feedback loop that whether it be an email or how you look at it through the tablet. So we'll continue to do that. Something else that we just started this week, making some how-to videos, and we want to get drivers involved in that. So get with your driver leader if you want to get involved on making some of these videos. But I think we recorded our first 4 to 6 of them, and it may be as simple as how to log in, but then how to change your on-duty status, other things that are coming. You'll start to see those on the tablet in the near future.
And real quick, Kitty, before you move on to that, can I expand on it just a little bit? I just want to ask for the help of all the drivers that are out there. Keep that feedback coming. It is invaluable for us to keep making those changes that need to be made in Zonar, and it's huge for us. So thank you for that. Keep it coming. And you never know, we make certain upgrades to it and we fix one problem and it opens the door for another, or it shines light on another. So please stay in constant communication with your driver leader, your terminal, and make sure that we are getting that feedback.
Perfect. Yes, I agree, Tracy. One of the comments or questions we saw says, let's go back to Qualcomm. Well, I can 100% assure you that we're not doing that. We're committed. We're moving over to this tablet and Zonar. We've got a lot of great feedback. Again, we know that there's a change. It's kind of like opening up a new phone sometimes, and you got to figure out how to use it. Our goal is to make sure that it's a good tool for you to do your job. We have the company that we purchased that's working on it. We have big project teams. I assure you there is many hands working on improving this tablet. We're probably around 9,000 tablets already into the project, and we'll continue. Our goal is to have this complete probably by October. So we have a lot of improvements coming. Your feedback's needed, and we'll keep that information flowing to you. Somebody, Kimberly Hall, she says, can we address issues and concerns live like this more often? Heck yes. This is, drivers, there's 2 positions at Swift. There's drivers and driver support, and that's what we all are. And we're going to make sure that we communicate with you. Our executives are communicating with you. We're going to make sure we come to you in different times of the day. Hey, if this really works for everybody, please leave a comment and tell us it works. Let us know where you're at. We'd like to know that too. So definitely we'll solve these problems together, because if one person's having them, I'm sure multiple people are. Another question that we see coming in is, hey, why don't we get point reductions for Smart Drive? If it's there to coach us and give us points on bad habits, shouldn't it take away when we do good habits? Hey, this is a good point. We'll talk through this. I'll write this down on the list for safety. But here's what I would tell you on this also. We're about that adult-to-adult conversation. Not Smart Drive isn't a perfect system either, and we see a lot of times with just an explanation with our folks, our drivers, our non-drivers. We talk through it, and we'll take that stuff off. We're going to make the best decision for you and Swift. Really, it's just about making sure you're watching your following distance, speed for conditions, those type of things. And again, we're just trying to coach you to be better. 80% of our drivers are really successful, under a 20 score for Smart Drive. So we're really doing well. We're in the top percentiles of safety in the whole nation against other trucking companies. So I would assure you it's working. And please discuss with your terminal leadership if you have any questions. I see one question. It says, why was the drop-off temp raised to 81 on the new Freightliners in my 2022 Opti shuts down truck? Hey, that is a great question. I happened to see it before we started. I made a quick call to the shop, and here's what I would tell you on that is, let's get your truck to the shop. We'll get those parameters adjusted. It was a mistake. The parameters are set for 32 and 70. That's what they should be set at. And those trucks came out, and we'll make sure we get you set at the right temperature. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to idle when you need to, when you're sleeping. Of course, when you can, crack the windows. And the big thing is that you get a comfortable night's sleep. All right. Why has vacation pay not changed in 10 years? I don't know that it's been that long, yet we do have it on the project list. So vacation pay is in September, October. We're working through the programming right now. What we're working through programming is cross period pay. So I'll come back to vacation in just a minute, but cross period pay, how does that work? A company driver's payroll period ends on Sunday. So if you pick up a load that's say 1,000 miles that picks up Friday, is dispatched on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's 4 days of dispatch on 1,000 miles, then what we would do is divide by 4. It's 250 miles a day. So we would pay you 750 miles on that paycheck, even though the load delivered on Monday. The balance of the 250 would be paid the following week. So we've gotten feedback from our drivers. They really want this. This is what we're working on currently with our IT resources. It's a highest concern. It filters right in there with guarantee pay and making sure that everything's right in the system. So the update from that today was the second week in August. So as soon as that's done, then we'll start looking at all the parameters and all the specifics on vacation pay. And that's next on the project list, I assure you. So more to come, and changes will be happening on vacation pay. All right. Let's see here. This is on dump valves. Tracy, I think you can probably help us with this one. Why do the new Freightliners come without a switch to lower the airbags drive axle gauge? That was very useful.
Yes. So thank you for that. And I can sure take this one. I hear a lot of these comments out there as I talk to more and more drivers. It's something that Swift has taken note of, and we have heard you talk about that and your need for that. So we're making that change. So they dropped that off a couple of years ago. And they're bringing it back now. So the new trucks that are coming in now have that dump valve for you. And that's all the brands that we have. So they're all going to have that up to and including some of the trucks that are out there. So if you're in a truck that does not have that, and next time you go in for an A or a B service, just ask your shop leader if they can add that to it, because the trucks that are capable of it and they have the parts for it, they're adding those in as we request them as you're doing your A and B service.
And there's certain years. So what we don't want is we're getting ready to start trading a lot of our 18s and 19s. So it's not just open flow. Tracy is correct. We got to make sure we have parts for those. But there are some that we are replacing. But here's what we can assure you is all of the new truck orders definitely have a new the dump valve on them.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So can we get more than $75 per day for breakdown pay, especially when it's not our fault? It's funny that you asked that question, Patrick. We are reviewing all of that right now. I think you'll see some changes in the near future on different pay or bands or things that we're reviewing. So I would also say that we're always looking to make sure that we have a competitive pay package. The last thing that we rolled out was guarantee pay, and we're going to continue to make improvements. So definitely we're reviewing that, and more to come in the next couple of weeks. In fact, I would make sure you ask that question again when we have one of these events in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we probably have a better answer for you. Okay. Drivers need automatic short haul pay. Always have to ask, and if sometimes it's difficult to find someone to compensate. Renee. Okay, so short haul pay. Tracy, you want this one or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, so short haul pay, that's already set up in your banded pay. I would say that just talk to your planner, driver leader. These things aren't set to be automatic because our businesses are so unique. We have so many different customers, so many different things. That is something you can discuss, and we can do an exception pay that would add in automatically. We have it in our system. Our planners, our driver leaders know what to do. Just discuss it with them, and we'll make the best decision for you and us. Great question. Why can't we get regular updates on fixing the tablet? I don't know that I finished my comment on that. Our goal is to have an update for you every Thursday afternoon. It'll be posted on the portal. And then even for any non-drivers watching, we'll make sure we send it out to your emails and communications. So we definitely are going to start communicating weekly on Zonar and tablet and all of those updates. Okay. I do see some owner operator comments. Our intention was we were going to have Brett Stewart on. He's over our owner operator division, and there was a emergency that he wasn't able to make it. So I will assure you that we'll work on those comments and we'll get you answers tomorrow that Brett will respond. Okay, so Scott Harris, when will Swift start paying better vacation pay? Okay, we did address that. The one other thing that I would tell you also is we are going to make this so that you can request and pay. Right now, your vacation pay pays out at your anniversary. In the near future, that's the programming we're working on, along with the mounts and what that looks like, is we're going to make it so you can request it when you take it, or you can also just request the money, and we'll work through that here in the near future. So that's the next 2 months or so. Okay, so why did we get rid of our ECT in Oklahoma City? How do I? Okay, that's the first question. Ramon, do you want to touch on? We really didn't get rid of them. We just improved it, right? We consolidated a little.
Actually, there still is an ECT presence in Oklahoma, but just like my previous statement, we're leveraging all of ECT. So, for us, it was about enhancing the driver experience. So they're not really gone; they're just supporting more than Oklahoma. So for us, it's just about leveraging the full staff of ECT to ensure that the drivers are being taken care of. So it's all about the driver experience with us. I think that was the first question. Let's see. How do I work at a new truck school in Oklahoma City? We have a place for it, but I haven't found any info about this program. So the second part, I'm gonna have to bounce to you, Ken.
And sorry, I was reading one of the questions there. Say that again.
It says, how do I work at the new truck school in Oklahoma City? We have a place for it, but I haven't found any info about the program.
So I would contact Johnny Jones. Johnny Jones is our Oklahoma City terminal leader. He is a long-term employee, very knowledgeable. He'll know right where to get you to or who to get you to make that happen. There are a couple comments about outdoor spaces for dogs. As we do a lot of these terminal remodels, we're putting kennels in a lot of places. We're putting great places that are shaded. Some of them even have fans, depending on the elements that you're in, or heaters to make sure that our furry friends are comfortable. Right? Those are great teammates or co-drivers to have with us, and we want to make sure they're comfortable whenever we're working on those trucks, or you're inside, maybe showering, whatever it is, right? So,
and I know they're working on that here in Memphis. They're actually outlining the fence yesterday. So Memphis should be up and running soon as far as the dog area. So we are definitely working on that.
And I'd say, you could take that to any of the terminals, and if they got the space for it, the terminal leader has the authority to make that call and make that happen for you. So, and especially use some of your ideas, what you'd like to see out there.
Definitely. Question from Mark. Let's see here. Is there a way to integrate the tablet to the tractor better for better hearing of navigation? Yes, they're working on that. And they're also working on speech to text. One of the other items that we just talked about this week, and I'm probably letting stuff out of the bag, it's on the project list, is that you're able to touch one button. It'll read your pre-plan to you, at least some of the basics, and then you're going to be able to respond with yes or no, or yes, I'll accept the pre-plan. So that stuff's coming in the future. We'll have more on the updates when we send those out on things like that. But those are coming in the future.
That's going to be nice.
A couple questions on the load board. Again, I think overall this is more Brett Stewart. What I've heard is, yes, they're working on it. It's very close. They've even tested some things. I saw one on percentage pay. All of those things, Brett will make sure he responds to your questions or comments tomorrow on that. So again, sorry he wasn't able to be with us.
And Ken, on that subject as well, there's a lot of testers out there, and they're on this. Some of them are on this call. I saw a couple comments. Charlie, thank you very much for the shout out that you put up there a little bit ago. Charlie is a tester, the first one on this program, so he understands it. But I know they're working very, very hard with the drivers out there testing it and the folks that are developing it, trying to get past some of the hurdles to make that operational. So I can tell you that Brett can give you more detail, and he'll follow up with you. But I can tell you that there's a large team working on that for you folks, and with the feedback that we're getting, it's moving along.
Excellent. One of the questions submitted was from Kenneth Smoky Gray. When are we going to allow mentors to get a brand new truck of their choice? No questions asked. This should definitely be a thing. Definitely would help our driver retention. Well, mentors can get a new truck. Most drivers can, right? We are purchasing quite a few trucks each year. Yes, we do have some programs where million milers get to choose a color. Mentors put a lot of miles on trucks, so we should be rotating them out quite often. If you're not you should just talk to your terminal leader. That's the number one person. It's really not any. I don't know what questions we'd ask you besides, hey, would you like a new truck because you run a lot of miles? So if you're running into that situation, talk to your terminal leader. I think they should make it happen for you. Let's see here. Can we get a rider? One of the questions from Michael Ford. Can we get a rider package that lasts longer than 3 months so I don't have to renew it every time I go home? So on those rider packages, we sign them up and we put them in. The reason why we've made it every 3 months is we don't want to cost you more money. If we sign a 6 month, then that could, what if the rider quits riding with you after a month? All of that is passed through. There's nothing added from Swift on that cost. So that's why we do it every 3 months, just to make sure we keep it up to date. Is the rider still with you? It's more of some checks and balances. Let's see. Why do we have trucks? This is from an anonymous. Why do we have trucks in our training fleet without AC? Well, I don't think I would want to drive a truck without an AC. So it was anonymous. If you can let us know who you are, that doesn't seem right. We'll get it fixed. We'll get with, if whatever area you're in, the terminal leader should be more than happy to help. We definitely would treat you the way we want to be treated. So that's not something we would do. All right. Another team question. Would it be possible for teams to get a truck where we could put our own fridge in, like the 2018s, and no upper bunk for husbands and wives, but have storage? We are looking at some changes in our trucks right now. This is something that we're working through with Tim Burks in our shop. We realize some of the fridges that we put in that are OEM are a little smaller. So we, again, by the time we have this next, update or driver open forum, I'd say ask that question again, because we should have a decision on removing a cabinet, making sure that we use an aftermarket. So we have a freezer, refrigerator that's a little bit bigger for you. In fact, 3 cubic feet instead of 1.5. Those things are all being discussed as far as driver comfort and retention right now. All right. Let's see here. Let's go. You guys see any comments in there?
Let's see.
That you want to grab? Sorry, folks. We're just reading through them.
A question from Lewis came in a little bit ago. He says, I applied for a mentor position and was denied, and looking for more options to make more money with Swift and stay with Swift. So Lewis, I would say to you, there are probably more options out there than you could probably maneuver. through that. I would encourage you to reach out to our placement center and find those. Probably something in your home area or your home terminal area that could work for you, that could get you more miles, or a dedicated lane, or in another line of business that pays more. So there's options out there. So just get with your terminal or get with the placement center, and we can find those for you.
Actually, Ken, there's a question from Brian. Seeing some drivers missing home time requests, some are important. How can we make sure these requests are heard and granted? So, Brian, great question. So, we've created a specific planning team dedicated to home time. So, our goal is to take your feedback, and I know it's one of the concerns from our drivers about getting home on time. So we've allocated specific planners, and their whole responsibility is home time and getting drivers home. So we're diligently working on ensuring that you guys can get home on time. So if you're still having issues as far as getting home, again, reach out to your driver leader or myself. But we want to make sure that you guys get home on time because, I mean, being home is important, being with your family.
Definitely. And we're just going to keep expanding those type of teams. We're in about the high, well, not, I would say the high, we're in the low 90%. We're still dialing it in, but that team is very committed to being successful. There is a great comment from Kevin. I won't try to say your last name. Larson can? Well, yeah, I will. All right. Can we get an external Bluetooth thumb keyboard for the tablet? I don't know, but that's one of the questions. Bluetooth keyboard. I will write that down and see what they say. So one thing I would tell you for our Driver Appreciation Week, we are long as everything comes in, and shipping is crazy out there because you guys are a big part of this logistics industry. We have ordered seat cushions. You guys gave us feedback earlier this year on what you'd like to see for driver appreciation, and we have a really nice custom seat cushion for you that we will be giving all of the drivers for driver appreciation. That is coming up in September, the week of the 12th through the 18th. So look for things to come there. It will be a continental breakfast, lunch served by the terminal leadership of some kind, whether food trucks cooked by them. And then during the week, we pick Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We will also have dinners at every terminal or food trucks to make sure that we've gotten feedback in the past that, hey, sometimes I'm out working and I'm not making your driver appreciations. We want to make sure that everybody gets fed or gets to break bread with us, and we get to break bread with you, see you, meet you, and get you taken care of. So we're working through all those details now, but more to come on your portals for that. We got a question from Shakita. Why do teams get treated differently when one is unable to drive for a couple days? Shakita, I would say give us your full name there, and I think there's a little more probably to that story. Don't know that you should ever be treated different. Everybody here is we're family. A driver, non-driver, we should all treat each other respect. I don't know what happened there, but hey, we can work through it and make sure that we resolve those issues. Will there ever be a bonus program for local dedicated drivers who are not paid by the mile? Great question, Russell. We do want to make sure that we keep competitive wages. We don't want to throw bonuses out there that maybe for local drivers, the big bonus is you get to go home every night. For those folks that are in the trucks overnight, that's a lot more difficult. Yet, hey, we're not saying that your job isn't hard at all. During the day, it's the same thing. It's just you get to go home at night. So right now, we don't have a lot of those programs out there, but that doesn't mean we wouldn't come up with one in the near future. We are trying to make sure that we get a lot more regional runs home nightly or even home once a week. So a lot of things coming in the near future. We are selling to our customers too, that for them to be the customer of choice, we need to make sure that they're treating our drivers well. There'll be surveys that will start coming out here in the near future that we're working on, that you'll be able to rate these customers, and then we'll use those comments as we give feedback to our customers on driver treatment, whether they have facilities, did they have parking, what was the treatment like overall at that shipper or receiver. So we're really dialing in the driver retention piece or the driver treatment piece at all aspects of our business. Tracy, Ramon, feel free to jump in. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit there.
All right, so I got one from Lionel in the idea section. Can you tell us why we're seeing so many non-Swift affiliates with Swift trailers and freight throughout the country? In the past, I've noticed a few from time to time. In the last 6 months, noticed many, many more. So Lionel, I can tell you, we've been very, very busy. I think everybody has seen that. We've probably had the strongest freight networks this year than we ever have. And I'm going back to, what was it, 2018 numbers. We're beating all of those because of the amount of business that we're doing. So all of our baskets are full of freight. So we've negotiated power only moves with our drop customers out there. So we are able to still service the customer and using an outside carrier to do so on our trailer. So that's why we do it. That's probably why you're seeing more of them, just because of the amount of business that we have on our books this year. So I think you'll continue to see it as long as we stay strong. It's a really good sign for Swift and for our network.
Excellent.
All right. I'll take another idea here. It says communication is the key. Continue to strive to answer phones quicker and reduce on-hold times by having lines roll over to people who are logged on and not on the phone. That's actually the way the system works. So day or night, if you call your driver leader and your driver leader's on the phone with someone, it should bounce to whatever driver leader is available at that time. You know, the goal for this is for you guys to have your phone calls answered within 15 seconds. So the phone system's currently set up that way. If it's not set up that way, again, that's a topic, that's a conversation for your driver leader or your fleet leader, your terminal leader, saying, hey, I'm having extended wait times. But in the background, it's supposed to work that way. So again, if you're holding over 3, 4, 5 minutes, then clearly there's a routing issue that we need to address. But the phones are set up to where they will bounce to the next person. So if I'm on a phone call, it's going to bounce around and it's going to pick the next first available agent to ensure that you guys are taken care of quickly.
Hey, real quick, there's another question here that somebody's asking. Lindsay wants to know, and I want to know, and I want to use this question to help make Ken hungry too. So Lindsay wants to know, Ramon, this is for you. What's your favorite, barbecue or regular flavored pork rinds?
It has to be the barbecue, and it's so I have a story with this. So we had a few people from facilities in the Memphis terminal last week, and we went to Memphis Best Barbecue. And if you've ever been, they do the pork rinds where they're freshly fried and they have the barbecue seasoning on it. So if you're ever in Memphis, come on, I'll buy you some.
Well, next time we'll make sure that we have a survey up so we can say who has the best. Who has the best barbecue? Is it Texas? Is it Memphis, or is it Kansas City? Right?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was in Texas a couple of weeks ago, and we had barbecue, and I felt like I was cheating on Memphis. So I have to stay away from the barbecue when I'm not in Memphis.
Nice. Hey, so I see some more questions about safety campaigns. They are getting ready to release a big safety campaign. I don't want to steal their thunder. That'll come out in August. Where there is incentives to the drivers for certain aspects of safety. So a lot more money being spent on the safety front. So just know that David Tillman and his group will be rolling something very cool out in August. One of our questions for Jorain is guaranteed pay for dedicated drivers too, or just OTR? Guaranteed pay is for everyone that is not local or intermodal right now. Everybody's in that for the first 6 months. It's $1,000 guarantee. The purpose of that is to make sure while you're learning the Swift system that you're making the correct amount of money. Now, if you are not making that much money and you're available for 5 days, then I would tell you that you should talk to your terminal leadership. If you're available more than 5 days and not making that amount of money, there's a problem that we need to discuss. There's a good flyer that our production crew just pulled up there. Put that back up. This is another good one. Hey, if you want to add money to your bottom line, $1,500 for every experienced driver you refer. Just make sure they give your driver code when they call in. 500 for every trainee. We have one guy right now that is on his, I believe he told me it was his 13th referral. I just talked to him this week. So he is set to make well over 20 grand just in referrals. And it's just really about talking to people. Something else we're willing to do is if you want to go to your terminal leader, they can set you up with business cards with your name and phone number. And they also have the referral on the back, which is just a QR code that you would scan. All right.
Actually, can I steal this one, Ken? So this is from Jason, and I'm going to mispronounce your name, Hayslip. It says right now ECTs are very, very limited in what they can do, which often leaves a driver sitting and waiting for hours to get an answer. Why can't we train ECTs to become dispatchers, CSRs, and planners for nighttime? So trust me, we are working on those synergies because for us, we want the one call resolution. We're working on cross training, and as I mentioned earlier, we're going to start cross training on other lines of businesses. That way, when you call that one number, which is your driver leader's number, and it comes to us, we should be able to assist you. So the goal is one call resolution. So that's a valid concern, and it's something that we're still working through. But trust me, our goal is one call, and we were able to get you taken care of. And I do want to touch base on another one. Where did it just? Okay, so I lost the question. So Ken, I'll let you go ahead and I'll try to find the other question.
Well, I think there's another great one here about from Matthew here. What about installing music apps on the tablet so we can Bluetooth or our tablet to the truck and still have music? Hey, that's a great suggestion. I'm writing that down for music apps. Also, from Tim, I hear a lot of the fuel program no longer honoring choices or given to drivers. I did see a couple other messages, so hopefully this will address all of those. We changed our fuel program a while back to make sure that, hey, you go to one of our partner stores. Somebody said, well, why can't we open just all the cards to everybody? That's just not the most efficient. We have partnered with all of with Loves, of course. I know that's one. I wrote down a few notes here. The TA Petro, the Loves, the Flying J, and the Pilot. 72% of the times that we send fuel stops, there is at least two, if not more, options. If you're, I did see one where I think we're in a certain area where they said, well, Loves just doesn't work. If that's the case, again, we will make the best decision for the drivers. We don't want to, just because we're sitting behind a computer and we don't realize that that fuel stop is out of route or just not available for a dedicated fleet, get with those folks, get them to talk to Tim Burks and our fuel folks, and they will make the best decision for you. If they need to add that, maybe they need to negotiate a different deal with the fuel provider in that area. But we're always going to make sure that we take care of the drivers the most efficient way if possible. So again, it's just conversations. Don't just get frustrated with what we're doing. Then give us feedback and we'll make sure we get that fixed. All right.
Actually, can I take another one? Actually, I want to say something to Jeff M. Mentioning the Phoenix barbecue, so we'll just leave that alone. But I appreciate it, and the next time I'm in Phoenix, I'll definitely give it a try. Frederick mentioned as far as the phone systems, can there at least be a queue allowing us to know what call number we're in and whether or not we can do a callback number? I think that's a great idea. When you call in, if there are callers ahead of you saying, hey, you're fifth in line, you're third in line. And I guess that's something we can talk through with telecom, to where we can at least let you know that. So, but that's a great suggestion, and I'll float that to telecom and see if that's something that we can do.
There was, and I don't see it right now, there was a comment about updating where we're at as far as improvements to our terminals. We did post those on the portal before. We're probably not posting them enough. So therefore, I'll put that on my list too. We'll make sure we get you an update on who's in progress, who's been remodeled, who's on deck. I think there's some excitement going on. I believe, like for instance, Detroit was started. Greer's getting ready to be started. One of the other comments we saw here, I'm going to put remodel list, and then I saw something about showers in a bigger terminal like West Valley when they started because we didn't have them in Phoenix and somewhere else. That was a good feedback. We'll make sure we get with our facilities folks to make sure we have some mobile showers because I guess the truck stop. Well, I don't guess. I know the truck stops aren't really that close. There's one on 83rd from Phoenix, but otherwise there's not a lot of close truck stops to go to. So good comment there. We have 100 and some ideas. That's amazing. There is no way we're getting to all these questions. I got about 12 minutes, and we'll continue answering. We've got 112 more questions, so great. We'll continue to answer, and we'll still answer afterwards throughout tomorrow. Okay.
Let's stay with technology real quick on the ideas section. JC has an idea there that I love because I've heard a lot of feedback from drivers on this, on trailers and pre-trips and whether they're getting done or not. But JC's idea is to update the pre-trip and the empty call macros to include pics of the trailers of the condition, I'm guessing is what he's talking about. So that's a great idea. And as we keep updating technology, JC, this is something I could definitely see happening in the future. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but it's something we can get on our list to start working on. So I think it's a great idea and it's way overdue.
Excellent.
So I'll take the next one from Brian. This is put an ECT person back in the terminal. Again, we're not eliminating ECT out of the terminals. We still have ECT personnel in the terminals, but of course, they're not just supporting that specific terminal. So it goes back to being able to take care of the drivers quickly and efficiently in the one call resolution. So, that person that they mentioned in Oklahoma, they're there, but they're supporting the entire company versus just the Oklahoma City terminal. So for us, it's about getting you guys the help that you need as quickly as we possibly can.
Here's a great comment or idea. It says, why does it take so many trips to get our trucks fixed right at the Phoenix one? The sad part is we don't get paid. We have a new system that is definitely, voice your choice has always worked, so always feel free to voice your choice. Yet we also have a new system where we're surveying our drivers after that service is done, where we're asking them things like, did we complete all the repairs that you requested? Rate our quality of service. How did we treat you? There's 4 main questions that are specific to that shop. And then just today, I assure you, we took a list of those folks. If they weren't 5s, we're sending those to the shop leadership. They're working through why they're not getting those right. Little things like even truck assignment, we're working through that right now. Where mattresses weren't in trucks, we're going to work through that to make sure that less work for you. During our new driver prep, we'll make sure that we get a mattress. You got a logbook, or not a logbook, but a permit book in there. There's a couple waters there. We just want things to be ready. We want you to be able to drive, and that's what we're going to get to. Hey, it's not going to happen overnight, but we're working on it. All right. Partners, okay. Back to there was a one that I'm not seeing now, but it was really around why do we see a lot of other carriers pulling Swift trailers, which was a great question. Through our brokerage division, we have what we call a power only. So we are so busy with all the freight that we have, which that should help you definitely too, that we can't handle it all. So therefore, we have outside carriers that with a lot of our preloaded trailers, they're moving our trailers around for us, and we're brokering them loads. So you will see more of our trailers being pulled by outside carriers, but that's just to help us and you keep up with our business, so we run efficiently. All right, and that was from, I just found it, Lionel Strong. So hopefully that explains it. You will see more of that. All right, Tracy, Ramon, you see more? We got 5 minutes, or we got 8 minutes left, so we'll.
Yeah,
No
real quick,
pressure.
from Willis, he asked, why can't we pick out the truck we're being given when we're being given a new truck? I would say, Willis, that you need to talk with your terminal leader or your fleet leader. I don't see why they couldn't make that happen for you. If they have the available trucks in G status setting at the terminal or wherever you're at, I don't see why they couldn't make that happen for you. So there's a huge network of unseated trucks out there that we give the terminal leaders the freedom to swap amongst each other. So if you're at another terminal, you see one that you like, bring it up. Maybe they can make a trade for it and get you in that truck. There's no reason.
And our intention is never to get you involved in something that is a clerical thing for us. One thing to know is our gray trucks are really are refrigerated. We're trying to keep that specific to refrigerated. Flatbed has headache racks, so they're a little bit different setup truck. Otherwise, the rest of the truck's a truck. If you trained in a Freightliner, you get done with your mentor and you say, hey, I'd like a Freightliner, whether that's in that terminal that you are assigned to's cost center, we're going to work through that with the other terminal. We're going to create a swap and we're going to get you in a Freightliner. We're going to do what's in the best interest of our drivers. So make sure that's happening. Give your terminal leader feedback. Remember, they're the ultimate problem solver. We've got a great group of terminal leaders, fleet leaders, just a great group of people overall. And they're going to want to do what's in the best interest of you. Now, if you're just wanting to jump from truck to truck, that may be a different story. But otherwise, yes, we're going to try to get you in the best truck that you know how to drive, that you feel comfortable in and safe.
So actually, I'll take this one. It says, what can be done to improve communication channels, better answers from our DMs, and providing better coverage for after our calls? These are the issues that can improve effective use of the driver's time and equipment utilization. I agree with you 1,000% on that. If you're having communication issues, especially with your driver leader, it goes back to what Tracy and Ken mentioned. If you're unable to get through using their direct line, then reach out to their cell phone. If your driver leader is unavailable, the phone system should route you to the first available driver leader. But if you're still unable to get through, you should have their cell numbers. Pick up the phone, call their cell numbers. As far as after hours, I think I've already kind of gone around that a few times. But like I said, we're diligently working to ensure that the phone routings are working correctly for after hours. And I agree with you. Communication is the key. So, and the open forums, what we're doing right now, express your concerns, voice your choice, the surveys that we send out. So if you're having issues, use voice your choice. More than welcome to come on the forums with us and ask any questions, and we'll try to get those questions answers for you. But we're just trying to open up the lines of communication for our drivers to express what's going on with them.
I do see some questions about routing and fuel and things like that. I'm going to give you a blanket comment on that. If you see something like Mark had mentioned that some of his routing was out of route, if that's the case, we've got a ton of change going on at Swift. If something new software or computers or tablets or somebody made a mistake on a route line, whatever is possible that could have happened, contact your driver leader, your fleet leader. We'll put those points in to make sure we get you paid for those extra miles. It's just a conversation. So don't sit back and go, well, you sent me a load, that doesn't seem right. Call and question it. We are more than ever asking you to pick up that phone, talk to us, and we're going to have a common sense, decision made, right? We're going to do what's in your best interest and ours, of course. Yet, hey, if it's routed wrong, we'll put those points in there, and it could just be a simple mistake. So don't get upset by that. So, hey, Jeff, sure, it's a great comment. Return to human judgment more. Automation helps, but shouldn't be totally replaced where we're becoming accustomed to it, right? I would disagree with you about cutting salaries. We've invested more into our drivers and everybody in the last couple years than ever, as far as I can see. I've been here for 14 years. Jeff, I used to work with you in Denver, right? So we're not trying to take the human element out. If anything, even like that one call line directly to your driver leader, that you're going to know that, and it transfers to everybody that you need. There's even some software coming up that we're looking at that would make sure that it would recognize your phone number, even if you called another number, transfer to your driver leader. There is stuff that we want you to get to the human element and get you taken care of. Less stress, just taking care of you. That's what I assure you that we're really all about. I promise. All right. The comments are just flowing in. This is so cool because we had a ton of comments.
I think it's great. I think that just tells you we got to do this more. So
can a driver go to
go
new and speak to them? It says, from Eddie, can a driver go to the new and speak to them? New terminal leader.
I'm talking about the new students in class in DQ. So
yes, if you're especially even a mentors, we encourage you. We have classes Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays in different locations, usually twice a week. That's something I would encourage all of the mentors to do, and even other drivers. Go talk to them. They're scared to death, some of them that are new. Can you blame them? Give them. We're all about you giving them the lowdown on what's going on. Hey, that's another thing as far as a career path with mentoring. That is, if you're a good teacher, like I'm probably not a great teacher. Tracy's very patient. Ramon's very patient. So I would encourage them to be mentors. Me teaching my kids to drive. I was like, hey, do it right. So if you're a good teacher, that is a great career path, is being a mentor. We are looking for mentors. I did see one comment, and again, I'm sorry I don't have your name in front of me. We've looked through so many questions where there was an accident that disqualified you. I would revisit that. That was back in March. So revisit where you're at, talk to your terminal leadership, come up with a plan. There's so many unique things. Was that an accident that, hey, I bumped into a mirror at a receiver, something simple? We might override that and make you a mentor. Or was it, hey, I rear-ended somebody because I was following too close? We're going to make those common sense decisions. But I assure you, if you want to make more money, teams, mentoring, there's so many lines of business, suites of services here. If you're just kind of burnt out on maybe running line haul, try refrigerated. If you're in refrigerated, try line haul. What about flatbed? What about container? There's so many things here. Call our placement center. We have a placement center out there for these specific things. If you have a change of lifestyle, hey, I moved across from Denver to Texas and I need to be regional, local, you can call our placement center and they'll help you. They have our whole book of business that they can walk through with you. All right. Well, we're at 7:00. So let's try to stay on time. I apologize up front for any of the questions we didn't get to. There is so many great ideas that I promise you we will pass these along. We're going to spend, I feel like, a big part of our day, Ramon and Tracy and Brett Stewart. I know you're at home, but when you watch this, you got questions you got to answer. There's other people in our organization who have to answer questions with us. So we'll make sure that we get back to you with the answers to these things. And hopefully this was a good experience for you. We'll keep doing it. Make comments, if you think that this worked or was a better time for all of our drivers. Thank you. Please be safe. Any parting words for us, Tracy?
No, I just want to say thank you to all the drivers out there for everything you do every single day. Thank you for taking the time tonight to spend a little time with us and give us some of those great ideas and share some of your feedback with us. It really keeps pushing us forward as a company and as a group, and I truly appreciate you doing that.
Ramon, you're going to keep improving that driver support /ECT. We're recoining it, by the way. We're going to get the name changed because we are driver support, but you're going to keep improving that. Any parting word?
Absolutely. We're going to keep striving for perfection. And just like Tracy stated, thank you guys for your feedback and your ideas. I mean, this helps us be a better service to you guys. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out tonight. And like I said, I'm writing my suggestions down, and hopefully when we do the next one, I'll have some more answers for you as far as the phone queues. And like I said, we'll continue to get better on the phones. We'll continue to audit them, but keep giving us the feedback.
Hey, I would end with, we appreciate you so much. Your feedback is key. We do have an engagement survey that'll be coming out in the next week or two. We'll make sure we send a Qualcomm message first, then it'll come by text. Again, your 2,400 responses last time helps guide this ship, and it helps us make changes with what you really want. It's data driven. It's not just because a couple loud people. It really tells us what you want. So keep giving us that feedback, voicing your choice, surveys. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.